on to the great urinal debate, which I'll explain. I'll have to explain. So, at the movie theater, this is what the urinals look like. Sorry to anyone who doesn't use urinals, but I think you can still connect with this. This is the piss take. It is a piss take. Is this normal for stream? Yes. I start every stream with about a 10-minute, 15-minute PP, a PowerPoint. 8, I am blind. It is a very bright screen at this moment. If you are used to setting in dark mode, I'm sorry to blow out your monitor or your screen or whatever. But yes, this is normal for screen. We do this for stream. We do this every stream, just for the first like 10 minutes, although it's different every day. This is what the urinals look like at my movie theater. Right? So, when you come in and you are alone, right? You're alone, nobody's at the urinals yet. Which one do you go for? Because I feel like I have a particular opinion that I don't think other people have. But you have two real options, right? You can go for this one. That's the comfort one. You got a wall on one side, you got potentially space on the other. It's a good urinal to pick, right? It's a good urinal to pick, for sure. But, that being said, why are they slanted? Because I am not a good drawer. I can't, this is me. I drew this. This is in Microsoft Paint. That wasn't clear. I'm so sorry. There are two normal, hold on, let me go back. There are two normal urinals and then one baby one, right? For the kiddos, going to the movie theater. I'm so sorry, I didn't explain that. So, now you have options, right? You have PP number 1 here for children. You have PP number 2. That's for a normal person, but it's right in the middle of the room. And then this one, I forgot short people existed. Me too. Baby's first urinal. Exactly. So when you walk up, right, the natural response is to go here. You're protected on one side. You got some space on the other. It makes sense. Optimal urinal placement from the perspective of the individual, right? Or you can go in the middle. Seems weird, right? But I will prove to you mathematically and socially that this is actually the toilet you should be going to. It's a hot take, I know. If you do this one, I think you are contributing to the degradation of society. This guy, social hero. This person thinks of others before themselves. And I will explain. So when you stand here, you give the next person two choices. They can either take the normal standing pee-pee, the normal standing urinal, and be like right up fucking on you, like way too close for comfort. Or they can take the child's one and do a little squat, Both of those come with social implications. How long were you standing there debating which one to use? Uncomfortably long. Plus, I really had to pee, and it was during intermission. So I was in a fucking rush, too. But the other thing about this is, you can have your own preferences, right? But then there's also going to be a disconnect between your preferences and the unknown preferences of the person that was there before you. If you go and squat there, you're like, oh, that person thinks I'm so fucking nasty that they're going to stand a whole 2 feet away and sit at the children's one over being anywhere near me. I must have horrible aura. You're giving horrible vibes to the original person. Or this one, you're like, oh my God, you're like right fucking there, That's crazy. So, I am going to quantify why this position is best. When you have to go, you don't choose. That's where you're wrong. I'm doing this math every time I go to the urinal. Doesn't matter how fast. The socially correct choice is the kids one. I did also think of that. I did not put that into the presentation, but I did have that thought. Which I think, I don't know. I feel like the social implications of standing at the mini one is kind of whack. But I will prove it with math for our Euro-brained people. If they use the kids one over the next one to you, I'd assume that you have cheese dick. Exactly. Like you're saying I am so nasty, you will take the children's one just to be away from me. So we're gonna do some math. I'm not good at math, but we're gonna try it. All right? So with this option 1 here, right? The value of the option of toilet 1 is T1, okay? Value of toilet 2 is T2, okay? Now, X. It never dawned on me that the urinal code isn't common sense to women. Yeah, I also thought that too, because I kind of discussed this with Liz too, and she had different thoughts. She agreed with me, but like in a different way than I would have come to the conclusions. But anyway, this I spent a lot of time thinking about this. This might be maybe like one of my more autistic traits, but I'm doing math when I go to the urinals. X represents how unpleasant it is to be near another human being while pissing, of course, while pissing. Also normally too. Y equals how annoying it is to squat. But also the difference between how you perceive it and versus others, you know? Now, so the value of toilet 1 is X1 plus Y1 equals T1, right? That's the value of toilet 1. T2 is X2 plus Y2. 55 streak, let's fucking go. That's crazy. I am not in Portugal. But anyway, so now when you as the first person to come in here, right? You are forcing person number 2 to do this little math equation right here. See it? There are too many unknowns there for it to be an actual pure decision, right? Because they have to both know what the difference between the social value and their own value of each of these variables. The pain of squatting, versus the proximity. And they also have to weigh that against the other one, which they also don't know. So in scenario 2, however, I didn't do the animations, whatever. In scenario 2, you are still giving them 2 equations, right? You're giving them 2 equations. But what you're doing is you're making x1 equal x2 because the distance between you is the same. Therefore, they can make a pure decision based exclusively on how much they do or do not want to squat. Therefore, the formula is literally just, do they or do they not want to squat? And obviously everyone's picking T1 here. I think we made an excellent point. I think this is great. I think I have mathematically proven which one is better. And I think now that we've put this out there, I assume the dickhead that went into the bathroom before me and forced me to stand at the little cuck one right next to him, I think he will get wind and he will never do that again. So therefore, scenario 2 removes the social stigma of the second person's decision by decision-making calculus by allowing them to more freely choose their urinal. This is the good citizen.
Nut.
Excellent timed nut. Honestly, excellently timed nut. Hot damn, you're a degenerate, though. Holy shit, minus 1,300? That's insane. When you're right, you're right. You're goddamn right. And class dismissed. I think we've made our point. So I'm just curious, out of curiosity, I should have taken a poll. I wish I had taken a poll. But how many of you before this presentation would have stood on the end? How many of you would have stood on the end versus how many of you would have stood and will now stand in the middle? I'm just curious. I've mathematically proven you would be wrong by standing on the end, but like whatever. I stand and piss where I feel like. Do you also, when pissing into the raw toilet, do you also aim for the water just to like make your presence known? Because that's degenerate behavior. Born to shit, forced to wipe. You're goddamn right. I would have stood on the far right and banked on nobody else. This is why society is collapsing. Everybody's just out for themselves. They're rolling the dice with other people's future. Depends on how drunk you are. Well, yeah, if you're past a certain level of drunk, the calculus is going to be way harder. But that just means that you should work even harder so that the next, even more drunk person doesn't have to do that calculus. I understand the math, but it hurts, and a sleepy, weepy, sick boy at 10:42 p.m. 10:42 is not that late, brother. Isn't that like kind of a normal time? But still, I'll take it. It's the Singaporean way. I actually figured the Singaporean way would have been in the center. Don't y'all like not chew gum because it would be bad for the streets? Isn't that true? Am I wrong? Am I mixing Singapore and maybe Hong Kong? I'm not sure. They have some designs to get people to piss on the edges. Yeah, they do that, and I actually love it. First of all, there is they put little insect drawings on the side of the urinals now, so that you kind of like naturally aim at the little insect, which is funny. But then once I went to one that had a little, like, you know, the little piss mat. Like, I don't think people who haven't used a urinal will understand. But there's a little piss mat sometimes, right? And you aim at the piss mat, and it kind of like, I don't know, make sure things don't splash, and it kind of smells nice, kind of, although it also smells like a bathroom. Well, on the piss mat, they also had a little goal with a little ball on a string, and you aimed at the ball, and you kicked it, you got it into the thing. I think it's great. Chewing gum is illegal, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Wait a minute, are you also Singaporean? If I'm in a friend's house, I sit to avoid splash damage numbers. That's a true, you're taking one for the team for real? For real? Piss mats never smell nice. Yeah, they don't smell nice. They smell like they're supposed to smell nice. You know what I mean? Chewing gum isn't illegal, only selling it is. That's awesome. Honestly, I was walking outside the other day. There is like a fuck ton of gum on the streets. Who the fuck is spitting out gum on the streets? Fucking abhorrent, degenerate behavior. But yeah, I think we're all on the same team now. This is the better spot. Just saying, from a social perspective. I think we're all on the same team. Anyway. Class dismissed. That was